This is a real B&H customer story.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Biz 34, and today we're gonna have our first guest coming up very, very soon. Welcome everyone who is in the stream. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that we're gonna be talking about some Dave Matthews Band music that'll be coming out. We're gonna be talking about what's going on with this tour for 2021. We're going to talk to a special guest who I've had the blessing to join on their awesome podcast. We're going to talk to Dave, one half of Shut Up, I Love You, a special podcast he does with his wife, Rachel. And we're going to talk about the pandemic with him and talk about plans for 2021 and the new album. But welcome everyone who is in right now. I am excited because the next live tracks that's going to be out is going to be a 2001 show. And I love the previous releases from 2001. We've had Fossum Field, and we also had Live Tracks 31, which is my favorite live tracks mix overall. I mean, the sound from that show is amazing. So we're going to take a look here at this live tracks, and I'm just going to share some thoughts. Let's go back here. So this is the next live tracks 56, July 16, 2021. What is unique about this live tracks? Well, first, it's going to be the first release from Canada, and it's at the Molson Amphitheater, which is a venue that the band has gone to a lot. It's one of the most frequently traveled venues in Canada for the band, if not the most. And 2001 to me has a mix of a lot of different things. Even though I wasn't going to shows. When I listened to shows, taper versions, and the professional releases from the band, we get the best blend of Dave's guitar with the era of the band, which to me is really the best era of the band, which is 1998 to 2004. That era, before These Crowded Streets through to 2004, where you had some of the best road tested songs that popped up in 2004, like Sugar Will. This is the prime DMB. This is the DMB when I listen to music, I'm listening mostly to 98 to 2004, but 2001, it doesn't get the praise of 2000, doesn't get the praise of 2004. And those years get a lot of praise, but 2001 and 2002 is another year that gets some praise, but 2001 and 2003 are years that are kind of underappreciated, I think, just from, the releases and even from the love it gets. And what I love about these shows is it really shows that every day when it's live, everyday live, it came out in 2001, there are a lot of great tracks, like If I Had It All, right? People tend to say, "Oh, every day was, the fastest." It was the quickest album for the band to write and release, right? And there's a lot of mainstream or radio friendly songs like The Space Between and Every Day that fans at the time were like, "Wait, why is this so overproduced almost?" But when you listen to a song like If I Had It All, it is a song that sounds amazing live, especially when Leroy Moore was still with us. And even this set list, you have an early Say Goodbye, right? You have a Don't Drink the Water in the best era of Don't Drink the Water, which is pre-2008, in my opinion. You have a So Right, which is another song that it has so much energy and joy. And I don't care what you say about the record, the studio version of So Right, but live, it's an awesome song. You have a Fish Tender, Big Eye Fish into Bartender. And you have a JTR into Watchtower. That may be one of the only times JTR goes into Watchtower. right? Usually JTR is at the beginning of the show and Watchtower is closing the show, but you have two to kind of go towards the end of the set. And then you have a number 40 partial, the funny how time slips away into two-step. That's a heck of an encore. So I'm very excited about this show just because it's a year that really is underrated. And the mix from Live Tracks 31 is amazing. In the way the band, the way Dave's guitar was, the way everything was set up for 2001, you had so much open space and you had a nice balance of the band from Leroy sax to Dave's guitar to Boyd on violin. He played, there was some solid playing there from Folsom Field and Live Tracks 31, where he, Boyd had a lot of wear and tear, but he was really on point in some of these 2001 shows. Now, one of the knocks I've already been hearing is that the Lovely Ladies joined the band. There's a 14-minute Angel, right? And to me, although this song is too long, I'll take an Angel in the middle of the set because everything around it is amazing. And even the other songs that the Lovely Ladies are on, If I Had It All and JTR, these are the songs that, to me, they don't really interrupt the spirit of the band as much as you can argue for some of the other songs. And it's all opinion, right? Some people like the Lovely Ladies, some people don't. They think they were a little too extra for the band that had a more simplistic, format of playing the music, right? It's not, my grandma's Baptist church where you have that extra energy and extra kind of added attention to every word, right? That's not what D&B really was about. And some people didn't like how the Lovely Ladies did it. Some people love that, right? But I'll take a nearly 15-minute Angel for everything else that we get for this show. So I'm actually going to purchase this. I will review this when it comes out and give you my opinions on that another day. What we're going to do now is bring in Dave, one half of Shut Up, I Love You. All right. Can you hear us, Dave?
I can. Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you loud and clear. Listen, your setup, I already can tell. You've been doing this a lot longer than me. I'm just starting out on getting my equipment here, but it's good to have you.
I mean, truth be told, we have no clue what we're doing most of the time. We come down, this is in our lovely studio here. We come down to our basement and we're like, we're pushing buttons and, talking into microphones and, being our silly selves. So don't get confused by the setup here. We truthfully, we have no clue what we're doing.
Well, you know what? The content you guys produce for the podcast is awesome. If you could just introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about your podcast and also your wife.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, unfortunately, Rachel couldn't be here tonight. She is doing kids. We have two kids that we, I guess we take care of sometimes. Nevertheless, so unfortunately, you guys are stuck with me. So everybody says Rachel's the funnier person. Tend to disagree. So we, our show is, I don't know how to describe it to people. When people ask, what is your podcast about? It's really not about anything. It's about life and it's about love. And we, truth be told, we are fans of the Dave Matthews Band. And just like as much as the millions of other people out there that are fans of the Dave Matthews Band. And we've been going to shows and doing this thing for, I don't know, a long time. You're talking a 2001 show. And I feel like I was there. That show you read off the list and you're going through, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I went to that show. I didn't go to that show specifically, but I went to go that year, whatever venue that I was at. So I'm actually looking forward to the 15-minute Angel. I think there was a Warehouse CD that came out not too long ago, one of the bonus tracks or whatever that had a 15-minute Angel on there. And I did listen to that over and over again. So anyways, back to the question here. Me and Rachel, we do a little show in our basement. Sometimes we talk about Dave Matthews Band. We talk about life and love and all in life that all of us, so we feel very common with a lot of people. So the commonality that we share between us, and then of course the love for the Dave Matthews Band, that's really what our show is about. And then, you know, raising kids in the world that we live in right now is that's kind of tough sometimes.
Yeah, and the thing I love about the podcast is you guys bring such an honesty and a genuine sense of who you guys are.
Yes.
There's a lot of things on social media that are overproduced or overhyped.
Yes.
So there's families, you can get a husband and wife, but you know they're doing things for the views.
Yeah.
And what I love about you guys, from even the last podcast about, you know, your wife being flicked off by a young 10-year-old,
Yeah.
even just talking about, I remember during the pandemic, you guys were just talking about getting takeout, right?
Yeah.
You guys have genuine conversations
Yes.
about life, about family, and you intertwine music. And we don't, to me, like I said, that's the thing that I think we miss a lot of online, that you guys, from the first podcast I heard of you guys some years back to the latest ones this year, there's an authenticity and an honesty that really makes me as a listener comfortable to hear that you guys are giving us your honest life, you're making us laugh, and you're sharing, you know, so many great things on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Really, we do want our show to be fun, and we want people to feel emotions when they listen to us. So sometimes we talk about things that a lot of people don't talk about. And this sounds weird, but one of my favorite shows is the show where right after Rachel's mother passed away, and it wasn't because it was a hard through, and we struggled to even do it. But the realness and the rawness of the show, it was so beautiful. I go back and listen to it because it brings a tear to my eye a lot. And that's what we want. We want people to feel connected and emotion. Not only, you know, life is sometimes not great, you know, as much as we all live in the world, and we all have shared experiences, but sometimes it isn't always fun. It isn't always blast. So if we can bring a smile, sometimes we bring a cry to your face. I think that's where we want to connect with people. And yes, I agree. We the real, because we don't care. We don't care if we're not doing this to be popular. We're not doing this for dollars. We have zero motivation besides genuinely having a conversation in our basement and wanting people to laugh and be part of our lives, as weird as that sounds. I mean, but yeah, that's quite frankly, that's what we want. We want people to feel connected, and we want to be connected to people, because that's something that we got from the Dave Matthews Band. You know, going to shows for years and years and years, we get to meet these brilliant people, these beautiful people, year after year. We sit in the parking lots and meet all these people, and we love them all. We loved every single one of them. We loved hanging out with them. We loved drinking beers with them. We loved the conversation, and we just wanted that to be part of our show too, as well. So, we're lifting people up. I say it all the time, you know, beautiful people doing beautiful things. So yeah, we want to lift those people up, including you, Marcus.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. I love hanging out and having these conversations with you. So, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Oh no, and thank you. And it's nice to connect, and even some of the viewers here, Granny, and DMB Mama, and also our favorite Australian DMB fan, the fan that Jane likes.
I love all of them.
And even like you said, sharing, being so candid on your podcast, you know, hearing, you know, talking to Granny, and you know what she's been through with the surgery and some of her personal things that happened in her life. Even DMB Mama's, we talked about her father, and I've shared personally about, a loved one who passed during the pandemic. But when we share these things about our toughest times, our happiest times, that's honestly what the world needs, because not everything is picture perfect like Instagram or Facebook or Twitter tries to paint it. And I really appreciate that. And speaking of some of your podcasts, you guys talked about the pandemic, but overall, how was your pandemic without music and also having some different changes of the world being shut down?
Yeah, yeah, it's weird because we are live music people. We live music was part of our lives since together. Me and Rachel would go to shows when, like, really one of the first dates we had. I'll tell you about our first date. Everybody get real sappy on me right now. Rachel's mother set us up on a date, and we went to a planetarium, and they had a Dave Matthews Band laser light show in the planetarium, and that was our very first date. So Dave Matthews Band has been live music has been part of our us, who me and Rachel are, since the beginning, since day one. And then going to see local music, I like genuinely love local artists as much as I do the major acts that are out there, the Dave Matthews Bands of the world, that are out there. But I there's something special about a guy playing a guitar on a stage and just being a brilliant musician, and nobody knows who this guy is. Like, nobody knows that. So not having that, not having the ability to go see somebody, go down to our local pub, wherever, our local bar, our local venue, and not being able to have to be able to see those guys play and pour their heart out on their instruments. That was hard. It was like somebody took something away from us. So, and quite frankly, they took this away from us. I can't really say that they took it away from us, but anyways, I hope you guys get what I'm saying. But yeah, so that was definitely, it's hard to come through. And you still feel that, when you take something away that was part of your life, there's a hole there. And the depression that goes around that, because you're missing something, somebody took a part of our heart, took a part of our person. And when they take that away, you go, what happened? What do I fill this with? So, and the only thing we had to fill it with was kind of each other and our family, in our podcast. So we dove a little bit harder into the podcast, and I really dove headfirst in with my children. And I'm feeling the pain of that now. I mean, my youngest daughter, we play travel softball now, and because we couldn't do anything, we started going out to the field and playing more softball and playing games, and somehow we found a way to cope with what we were missing by filling that void with something else, and that was softball. Well, now that thing has taken over our lives. Softball is like all we do now. So there's that. So, but the pandemic was, what we found in the pandemic was we had to rely on each other as much as we possibly could to get through this, and as much as we could, relying on our friends and the people that are around us. We were, truth be told, we were all doing this together. As much as we felt apart, we were all doing it together. So.
And that's awesome. And even I can think of, with my family, hockey was that sport that me and my brother played growing up. And I know that bond when your parents are driving you to those travel games, playing, like you said, in the pandemic, it's taken away, but then you're focusing on, playing that game with them. It definitely is special. And I think overall, the community, even the people on this stream, it keeps you going when you have that support system. Were there any songs, even artists, or any music that hit you differently during the pandemic, or that you may have started to pick up on in a different light? Being away from the concert and being only tied to be able to listen to music.
No, I know all the DMB fans are going to get mad at me, and they should, because during the pandemic, it was really hard for me to listen to Dave Matthews Band, because the Dave Matthews Band has always been a part of my life, with like the live shows included. So when we would get really geeked up to go to, you know, like we are right now, we're really geeked up to go to shows here at the end of August. We're going to shows. These are real things that are happening. So we listen and we get excited about this album, and we're really jazzed up about what we want to hear and all of those things. But when you take that part away, the Dave Matthews Band, because we didn't have the other part, it felt empty. It felt like, oh, like it's, you know, I'm missing something here. So I found myself diving into other artists, and something that I know that I love. I have loved the Bare Naked Ladies my whole entire life, but I didn't realize I loved them as much as I do. And during the pandemic, I found the Bare Naked Ladies again, and man, they're so good. They're so good, and yeah, I couldn't get enough of it. So much so, like I'm adding Bare Naked Lady shows as much as I am the Dave Matthews Band shows right now. So that is definitely something that I didn't know that I liked as much as I do now. So
that's awesome. And one of the things that I try to bring to this fandom is the balance. And I think that's awesome that you picked up more on the Bare Naked Ladies, because when you just have like having DMB and DMB only, I know many of people love other artists, but
yeah,
you kind of miss out on nuances of other acts you love, or missing out on new artists completely when you focus just on DMBs. I think it's awesome that you were able to find new light in Bare Naked Ladies. And for me, it was Spoon, which is a band that I didn't listen to heavily.
okay.
I got into them, and even getting more into some of the Grateful Dead, even as of the last couple of months, I actually finally got into Fish. But I think it's important that when we have a situation like a pandemic, that we use that time to really try to find other avenues of love, find other avenues of enjoyment and entertainment, because we can't go to a D&B show, but we don't know what tomorrow promises. We have to find other things like Softball or Bare Naked Ladies. And I try to preach that I love this band, but there's more to life than D&B in between every show.
Yeah, that's hard for people to understand, that there's more to life than Dave Matthews Band. I mean, Dave Matthews Band is essentially my life. I live this band, you know, all for a long time. I've been doing this. So to say somebody to me personally that where I've felt this connection to this thing for so long, and to know that like this guy is saying, hey, just so you know, there's other things out there. There's other things you can go do. You can go see a local act. You can go see a guy playing a guitar on stage, and that's actually pretty cool to go do. You know, that stuff is out there too. So you don't have to just do this one thing, even though this one thing is pretty flipping awesome. Like, it's pretty awesome, but you don't have to do it all the time.
Absolutely. And I want to get into 2021. I listened to your podcast, like I said, the last one, about some of your plans, but just walk us through what are your plans for 2021? What shows are you going to for DMB?
Yeah, so we really weren't awful right now. We don't have very much in the level of travel plans right now, but we do have tickets to shows, so that's part of the deal. So we are, I know we're going to Lake show. We'll be at the Star Lake show. We'll be at the 2 shows in Deer Creek. Those shows are, Deer Creek, we would say, is our home venue. We've been going to that show since, I don't know, forever and a day. We've been going to that show so long that I remember peeing in the cornfields that are across the road, where there's actually people's houses that are there now. So I'm like, hey, I remember going to pee right there in your backyard. So anyways, and then, yeah, we're going to do it. And it sounds polluted, but for the first time this year, we've been following this band around for 20 years or so. But now for the first year, we're actually going to, bite the bullet and go to the Gorge and see those 3 shows too. So we're excited. I think we're doing like 6 shows this year, and most likely we'll add a couple shows in. I don't see us not going to a few local shows here that we normally go to anyways, that are not necessarily on the list, but I always go, oh, my favorite band is playing an hour away. I need to just go. And I always find myself going to those shows. So yeah, 6 on the books for now, but most likely more.
All right. So just to make sure I have the right. So you're going to Gorge, Star Lake, so that's just outside of Pittsburgh, and then you are going to
Both nights
Deer
at Deer
Creek.
Creek. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna put it up there.
Okay.
So and Granny will be at those Deer Creek shows.
Yeah.
So definitely.
I definitely want to. We want to meet people. We want to say hi. Like, come say hi to us. Come, and of course we have the love signs too there. Please go. Go to our friends at tailgate2caravan.com and go get your love sign. It's a pretty neat thing that we're doing. We're excited to be a part of it and excited to do that. I know the pandemic kind of fizzled that plan away. You know, we kind of launched that whole the love thing, the summer of love thing, and then the pandemic happened and it just went, but it's still there. It's still happening. I'm wearing my love shirt now. It's definitely something that's very near and dear to our heart. And please, if anything, go see our friends at Tailgate Caravan. Go buy your love sign. Bring it to a show with you. It's nice, compactable. You can take it, put it right in your pocket, bring it into the show, and then of course display like your cool, super cool love sign right out in front of everyone. So that and keep it down low so nobody else can. You don't want to block anybody's view. So there's that. So yeah, thanks. Please come see us. Come say hi. Give us a hug. And if you know my wife at all, she will give you a hug, a big Rachel hug, and she will squeeze tight and she will not let go until you tell her to, like, hey, lady, please stop hugging me.
Awesome. And any concerns about? I know you said you're going to figure it out, but any anxiety on getting things booked? Because I can tell you, me personally, I'm going to these shows. And a lot of it's because of people like you, D&B Mamas, and some other friends that I'm going to the Gorge.
Oh, awesome.
I'm going to be going to the Mohegan shows, and I'm planning to add some more Northeastern shows. But any concerns with everything going on with the gas going up, rental cars, hotels? Have you had any anxiety just trying to book things with the way everything in the world has come back?
Yeah, there definitely is that. The unknown that's going to happen, and hopefully we feel like things are a little bit more known now, as the world is kind of coming back to a level of normalcy. However, I agree, there definitely is a level of anxiety there, but I mean, we are blessed, we're lucky. Some of the things that we have going on in our personal lives help mitigate those costs and help mitigate some of those travel concerns. So we're definitely lucky there. Although, trying to book a flight right now or getting a hotel, putting out dollars that you don't know that you should be spending is a hard thing to do, like, ew, what's going to happen? What's going to happen with the economy? What's going to happen with people's jobs? What's going to, the fallout of everything that we just went through? Is there something there, or do we just keep going on? And I think me and Rachel have definitely lived in our life in a unscared type way where we we live in the right now. So we don't want to live in a world where we're scared of what might happen. We're just worried about what is happening right now. So there's that.
And that's an awesome perspective. And I think that's the thing, is to be blessed. And I feel the same way. The money isn't. I can get. I don't. I know I can book a hotel. I already booked some. I know I can get a flight. Even though the rental car is looking crazy, I can do it, right?
Mm,
But there is a concern. At the same time, I think one thing with the pandemic, with some of the way that people have had to go through this pandemic in some of the service industries, whether it's the
yeah.
airlines, the hotels, even the rental cars, before the pandemic, they shut them. A lot of Hertz places shut down. A lot of other rental facilities were losing out to Uber. So I am really anxious because of the way the prices are unknown. At the same time, I've developed a bigger appreciation for, look, if this rental car is going to be really 70, $80 for a compact car, I know that at least, look, they're doing things, and I hope it keeps going on, but they're doing things to really pay people a more livable wage.
Hmm.
Um, and some of that is driving up. That's why some of the prices are going up, and there's other reasons. But I think that one thing, look, these people that there's people that make us able to travel
Yeah.
and able to get food, able to get to these venues. And at the end of the day, I think coming out of the pandemic, I appreciate everyone behind the scenes that allows us to travel so freely to these shows.
Yeah, I guess I want to add to that maybe a little bit is our DMB community, our DMB family. I'm grateful for the opportunity to know as many people as I do, to be friends with them, to genuinely call them friends because they help me, they help us out. They say, "Oh, Dave and Rachel, come hang out with us, come stay at our house, come, yeah, we haven't got a room at Deer Creek. We don't have rooms at Deer Creek, and we're not worried because we know a lot of people there, and we know that we're going to be able to somebody's house should it come down to that. So yes, we haven't booked a hotel, but I'm not scared about not booking a hotel because I know I'm going to go spend the weekend with my friends anyways, and I know what they're going to say. Hey, come camp with us, come stay in our room with us, come go, here we have a house, we're renting a house, we want you to stay with us. And we definitely feel blessed that we know as many people as we do, and we've been hanging out and doing this for so long that we've got the opportunity to meet and have real genuine friendships with these people. So
Yeah, definitely. And even like Granny's offered hospitality to go to Deer Creek, and I'm gonna have to respectfully decline this year, but next year I'm gonna get out there. But it's awesome to have friends in different places. I want to
mm.
get to a little bit of this new album. Is there anything that you're hoping for with this new album that's going to most likely come out by the end of the year?
Okay, yeah. So I'm the wrong person to ask because only because like I guess I live in the with the headspace that the Dave Matthews Band is not my band; it's their band, and they make the music that they want to make. So um, I am a consumer. So whatever they make and I consume, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that because I'm happy that I get to watch them. I'm happy that they're still making music. I'm happy that they're doing the things that they're doing. So I mean, I understand because I was there. I was there in 2001. I was there in 2000 and 1998. I got to listen to some really cool stuff. And yes, I agree. It was the best version of the band at that time. However, it's not. I can't get that now. I can't get that version now. So I'm in a minority. I feel like when I say I'm satisfied with what I have right now. I'm satisfied with the band that I have right now, or it's not my band, but anyways, it's not. I don't have any ownership over the music. I don't have any ownership of how they play or when they turn up Dave's guitar and when they turn it down or with. I don't have any ownership with Buddy being in the band, so I'm grateful that he's there. I'm grateful that they're playing music, and I'm grateful that I get a chance to listen to it. I get a chance that there's new music coming out And part of me in the Dave Matthews Band years ago, part of it was discovering new music and finding new sounds, and be like, oh, listen to Leroy as he's doing this, or listen to, Carter as he's playing this, or whatever. I get that again. I get that. They're going to give me that feeling. So it may not be the same feeling. It may be a little bit different or a little bit skewed. It's it's not the right mix of people in the band. It's not. I wish that this person was back or this person was back. So, but I don't get a say so in that. I don't get it. They don't come to me and say, hey, Dave from Shut Up, I Love You, how do you feel about adding this person to the band? They're not going to ask me that. So why should I be upset about it? Why should I be angry about it? Why should it be, the visceral reaction that goes along with that? I choose to live in a world where I'm happy about it. I love the band, and I'm gonna love the music that they put out. I may not love all of it, and that's okay. It's okay to not love all of it. It's okay to love the band that is right now. It's okay. I don't like I know there's a level of DMB purist in the world that like, no, it's got to be this version of the band or nothing. Or I'm like, that feels like a polluted statement. It feels very gross. So, I'm excited about the new album only because it's a new album. It's new Dave Matthews Band music. That's what I'm excited about. I get to listen. I get to do this thing that 20 years ago when I'm discovering all this, I get to do it again. That's exciting,
Yeah, and that I'm actually on the opposite end of things, but that's okay. That's
agreed.
But your perspective, that is a good point, that they can't be the 2001 version. Just like I'm looking at some of the playoffs right now, hockey and NBA, and there's some players that can't do what they used to do, from Alexander Ovechkin and LeBron James, who are both eliminated. These are players that typically are around in the second round, and and so it's a good perspective that you've actually seen the different eras of this band from the 2000s, the early 2000s to present. So you're like, okay, I got this, I got that. Where I think with me, one of the things that, there's always that, oh, I didn't get to see this. I didn't see Leroy Moore.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's a little bit of my first show, I didn't have any expectations, and it was an awesome show. And I was like, oh, Tim is awesome. But then as I started to get more into the live music and away from just, I only knew the hits through 2012 and some of the big albums, the first couple. But as I was like, wait a minute, they used to play this and that. And I want this and that highlighted a little more. But that's a good point, that you can't get that the band is going to do what makes them happy. But overall, I think the one thing I've learned, even talking to some friends who are veterans like you, is this band cannot function by playing stuff that we want to play. There's a lot of bands like Fish, the Grateful Dead, Humphreys McGee, who I consider true jam bands. It's not a knock to DMB. They literally will play. They can play whatever, whenever, but their energy isn't the same as DMB's. And DMB, when they try to play a song, if they were like, if we held them up in the room and like, you have to play these songs, otherwise we're going to hack your whole infrastructure, like the Russians. And so if we were to do that, and then they play a set list of everything I want to hear, it's not going to come out great, right?
Yeah, it's not.
They tried certain songs that are awesome, and I still think they're good, but it doesn't sound great. So that's a good point, that you're just like, whatever makes them happy, play it. Because this band truly, even as someone who says, I want Tim turned down, I want Dave turned up, I want Buddy. Personally, I would love Buddy to be highlighted on the piano much more. If you listen to Steady As We Go from the SiriusXM Dave Live from Home concert, Buddy played the piano and it was beautiful. But I say all that to say that as much as I want these things, the band truly is not, it doesn't function on other jam bands' idea of, look, you have to play all these songs. You can't repeat these for 2 more tour dates. That's what Fish does. That's what Grateful Dead does. Any Grateful Dead spinoff. but DMB cannot function on. You have to play these songs, and you can't play these again until next month. So.
They really can't. They have like there's a level of expectation when you go to the shows based off energy and emotion, and part of what you feel when part of going to the Dave Matthews Band show is the feeling that you get of going to a Dave Matthews Band show. So you don't get that feeling if they're not playing Ants Marching. You don't get that feeling when you're walking away if a Gray Street isn't part of the set list. So to say that those songs are overplayed, I 100% agree. Trippin' Billy's, if it never comes back in a set list, I'm not disappointed about it. But I live in the moment. I live in the right now. And Trippin' Billy's is a pretty flipping good song. And it's pretty fun to play. Now, is it overplayed? Yeah. Yes, 100%. Yes, but am I going to use that as a way to dismiss the moment that I'm living in right now, or do I just live in that moment and enjoy that time that I'm having with that band in that place, whatever venue I'm at, whatever time, whatever friends I'm with at that time, and I'm listening to the song? That's got to be a special moment, because if it's not, then what are you doing? What are you doing this for? So I guess that's where our headspace is when it comes to that stuff, because we don't own any of it. We don't own the set list. We don't own how it's picked. We don't own what songs they play. None of the fans do. You think or feel like you have any obligation, or if the band has any obligation to you to play what you want them to play, you're wrong. And that's, I hate to say it like that, but you're wrong. So you have two choices: be upset about it or live in the moment and enjoy your time in the moment. And that's what we choose. We chose to live in the moment.
That's definitely a nice perspective. Although I will say this, after we had that great conversation, one of the things with DMB that's odd to me, and I'm guessing you were a fan when the Lily White sessions got leaked, right? You were. So I was still into alternative rock, hip hop, like Get Rich or Die Trying. Well, that was 2003, but I was into hip hop, alternative rock, punk rock, and more heavier versions of music, not the DMB or some of the Jack Johnson, some of the more mellow acoustic that I'm into now. But one thing I'll say is this, that I've listened to a lot of legendary bands, demos, B-sides, and leaked music. And I gotta say, DMB and Dave, his some of his solo stuff, some of the best music that I've heard personally from the band has been leaked, or it got tested for a couple of tour stops, and I don't think they got the reaction like A Dream So Real, and then they put it away. I've never seen another band where these artists pass away, and this is what they wanted. They wanted them to release all these songs, and I listened to them, and I'm like DMX just passed away, and the new album, I mean, it was okay. And it was they used stuff from the past. Biggie passed, some of the stuff was all right. And even other rock artists have done that. But I've never seen a band where, to me, what is it? The Lily White sessions, some of the unreleased music that dropped or leaked or was played for 2 or 3 shows and stopped. To me, that's some of the best music. Now, again, is it a crowd hit like a Gray Street? No. Yeah. But some of the best music from the band has been some of the stuff that Dave decides to scrap, as we all are insecure with our art, our body of work, our work. I don't know if you felt the same way. Like, I felt like some of the best music from the band has never been really fully released or played.
Yeah. So is that a product of the style of music the band plays? So I'm going to tell a little bit about myself. One is I'm a musician myself. You can see that in the background here. I have my guitar. I like to play, but I started out playing music in high school. I was a slide trombone player. I played slide trombone, and I was part of the jazz band when I played slide trombone. So best, some of the best, funnest times I had playing music was improvisational solos where I'm just playing that song at that moment at that time. So maybe that's conducive to what the Dave Matthews Band is in those moments. Maybe that's what it is as you listen to those Lily White sessions for the first time that was unreleased. It wasn't meant to be released. It wasn't meant to be out in the public. Those guys are just making music, and they are phenomenal musicians doing it. So when we're listening to that, it is raw, it is real, and that's what we enjoy about it. That's what I enjoyed about playing the slide trombone and jazz band. It was raw and real and right now. So that's maybe that's what listening to when we listen to that stuff. Those unreleased albums or it wasn't meant for us to hear. It was meant for those guys because they're musicians just playing music. So maybe that's conducive to what they are as a band. So yes, I agree that some of that music is phenomenal. That the way they played some of those songs on the Lily White session was real and beautiful. But it's also something that I don't own. It's something that I don't like. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs to them. So I want to consume the things that they want me to consume. Listen and enjoy music what the band wants me to listen and enjoy that music. And yeah, I agree. Some of the music that I'm not supposed to listen to is really some of the best music, but it's also not what I'm supposed to listen to. So
Yeah, I definitely think it's the rawness of it. And I think that, to me, my theory is that the band was not in a good headspace when they made the Lily White sessions. There was a lot of things going on that almost led to the band breaking up. So I think that when they listened to that music and it was leaked out, and that's not right. But when they listen to that music, almost like the way it is, the child's being born is someone's being killed. But I think that those memories of that music take them to a time where they were at their all-time low morale wise. But when I listen to it, one of the things, my favorite thing about this band that really has helped me is the rawness of Dave in his solo album. Got me through one of the hardest breakups of my life. Some Devil got me through that because it's raw. The Lily White sessions, to me, I love the rawness of, like you said, it's not polished up for the studio.
yeah,
And it's almost close to what they were playing at that time when you listen, because they did technically play those songs, and those versions were the best. But I think that one of the things with music in general is some of the best music, it takes people that have literally lost a loved one, like a father, who were abused, who were in a situation of struggle. Some of the best blues music came from descendants of slaves who were still segregated.
Yeah,
So
right.
I think that it's a good perspective to say, yeah, it's raw, but they also look, they didn't want this out. And even like A Dream So Real, it's just that I love the raw emotion of DMB, just like I love when you guys or other people in the DMB community, when you guys share something personal with us on social media and we send our vibe, we send our prayers, we send our support. To me, that's probably my favorite part of DMB is I love the happy songs, but the dark, raw emotion of the band, even like a You Never Know, which was polished up and it was formatted later on without Lily White, right? Songs like that, that's my favorite part of D&D. And I think that's why I connect so closely with some of the Dream So Real, Shotgun, Break For It, like What You Are, even though that's a studio, like those dark, intense, emotional songs that aren't just lovey-dovey, but have a mix of both. That's to me why I'm a D&B fan. So.
Okay, yeah, I get it, and part of that is also transcends into what me and Rachel do as we talk about our show on our weekly podcast. We do feel those emotions in music, and we want other people to feel those emotions. Obviously, we're not good enough to be professional musicians, so maybe we can be professional podcasters. So I don't know, whatever that means, but the emotion and the realness of what we are trying to do is also, conducive to what what we hear in that music too as well.
All right, and I just want to share your website here, and where if you can just let us know as well. So this is the website, shutupiloveyou.com.
Where it's very simple, very plain.
Yeah, where can we access the podcast outside of the website? Are you guys on different apps?
Anywhere you download podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, just find Stitcher. Anywhere you go find a podcast, we are there.
All right, awesome. And then you got different links and to the different podcasts. Also, you can check out, I think you guys, I don't know if you updated this, but this is the Summer of Love. So you can get out more about the love sign.
Yes, please. And go visit our friends at Tailgate Caravan. There's love signs still available, lots of them. It means the world to us when you go that, like this thing that we were doing. Truth is, it was a writer's block for me, and I was going to interview Jess Wadley from the Matt Wadley Love Foundation, and this foundation was something very special to me because I found it a few years ago. There was a sign being passed around. Anyways, nevertheless, I found this story. I found everything about what was going on with the Love Foundation, and I was like, oh, my heart moved so much. And so we had this interview coming with Jess Wadley, and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? So I wanted to make it a big thing, and I thought it would be cool to have everybody at the Gorge holding up a love sign. In all the proceeds, all of this stuff going back to the Matt Wadley Love Foundation. So, it's something special to me, something special to Rachel, and we hope you all participate too as well. So please, tailgatecaravan.com. Go get a love sign, hold them up at Dave shows, spread them around. Here, take a love sign, buy a love sign, take it and then hand it to somebody else, and then go buy another one, because that's how much it means to me and Rachel and all of us. It just means the world to us if you did this.
Yeah, and I appreciate the. I've told you before. I think one of your podcasts, I didn't understand. I was like, why do people have these stupid signs? And I said that not knowing about the foundation. So definitely check out this website and you'll learn more about it, because it is a great cause. And that's one of the things is I appreciate you guys sharing this and having, you guys have been connecting me to Tailgate Caravan. I'm a follower of them. I interact with their social media. But the education there, if you check out this website here, and then look up the Matt Wadley Love Foundation as well, you can learn more about what it's for. Because I just saw these signs, like, what? Why are these signs? But it's a really great cause. In my mindset, now I know what it means, and now I'm like, this is awesome. So
yeah, it's really neat stuff for sure. And Marcus, thank you so much for having me on your show. Like, this was so much fun. I didn't realize I was going to have so much fun. What a great time.
Definitely. And like I said, you guys have been such grateful hosts for me to come on. And I thought, hey, I'm doing this live stream thing. You're my first guest.
Yeah, awesome.
And everything came together. But I thank you so much for sharing with us. We send all our best to your wife, Rachel, and to the kids and the rest of your family. And hope to see you at the Gorge for
we will be there.
21. Yeah. I don't know where you'll be, but let me know when you find where you'll be. And we'll definitely
let you know for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And please, go find us, help us out. If you give us a nice little review as you go to Apple or iTunes or whatever, go give us a review. It would mean the world to us. We don't ask a little rating or review, and hit that subscription button. That would mean a lot to us. So thank you, Marcus. Thank you, everyone out there. This is the first time you actually see my face too. Oh, you didn't get to see my hair. I do want to show my hair before I go.
All right. Oh, did you grow it out during the pandemic, or has it always been like that?
Oh yeah. I grew it out.
Nice.
Pandemic. Man bun now. I'm going full on Timmy.
As long as the wife approves, right? As long as she's okay with it.
All right, that's enough of that. I'll see you guys. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. You have a good night.
Yeah, you too, guys.
All right. All right. So we want to thank Dave from Shut Up, I Love You. And hope to get more of you on. I definitely will be getting more guests. The plan is as well to, we're going to see, depending on the Wi-Fi, but I'm going to try to get some people on after the concert. So we're going to try to connect shows. I know some people that are going to shows I won't be at, so I'll be home, obviously. And I'm hoping to get them on the air after the show to give us reaction right from the show or from their hotel or wherever they are after the show, to get them on live here, because this is not just about me. It's about other fans, and about you guys who support this, who come on every Saturday to chat when you can, or even those you guys watching on the replay of this later on today, tomorrow, next week, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now. We appreciate your support. And continue to follow me on social media, ConcertViz34, Twitter, Instagram. More to come this summer as we start to get into these shows, and look forward to bringing some of you guys on and talking to you guys for some of these nights, if you guys are okay with that. Any thoughts, any topics that you guys want to talk about personally before we wrap up? I am excited again for these shows. I also am excited to get to some other non-DMB shows as well. I'm looking to try to go to Chris Stapleton for a show or two. I'm looking to see what's going to be added to the fall. I'm looking to potentially go see Dead and Company. I'm not fully sure about that. I'm excited for a new John Mayer album coming out as well. So there's a lot of great things that are going to be happening coming up. And from a ticket update and from a capacity update, it's still, from what we're seeing, there's still abilities to get tickets, right? I think the hardest things are going to be the hotels, the flights. I think I'm going to probably get a flight soon because things are going up. And I have a hotel for the Gorge, but I think the tickets are going to be the least of your worries outside of the big venues like Deer Creek. But the Gorge itself, there's plenty of tickets. SPAC and Deer Creek and Fiddlers in Colorado, those are going to be hard tickets. Everywhere else, in Raleigh too, right? Raleigh and Charlotte, that's the first weekend. But other than that, I really see some opportunities. If you hold out, there's going to be tickets, right? These shows aren't all sold out. And even the Warehouse has had some instant tickets pop up. So the tickets itself are going to be one of the easier things to do. So we'll see what happens as far as how you guys get tickets, if you're going to get tickets. If they open up the border to people like Mike, I know he's from Canada, and hopefully he's able to get to the Gorge. The other thing that's interesting, just really quickly, is they still don't have set policies for these shows. Mask, no mask. Is all the concessions going to be open? Are they going to social distance? We still don't know. And Live Nation at the end of this month is going to have some full capacity shows for music. I've already said I've been to a nearly sold out Madison Square Garden for a Knicks game, and my section was sold out, right? The only sections that weren't sold out were the ones who with non-vac, like you didn't have to be vaccinated in the section, so they distanced you. But there still isn't. Oh, the Buddy Strong interview. So yeah, Fan of Jane, like you did send that to me. Yeah. I mean, again, I just relate so much to Buddy because I came from, they call it the black church, but really it is in a sense. If you go to any black church and you're not African American or black, you will be invited with open arms. It can be intimidating. I understand that, but they will invite you with open arms. It doesn't matter who walks in that church. It's one of the most welcoming environments in America. People just tend to not go to churches that aren't on their block, that aren't have the same, they don't know anyone at that church. But anyway, I would say, yeah, Buddy, I connect with him because, well, he's much more talented. I grew up with drummers. This kid who was a drummer in the church, and this kid at like 9 or 10 was just a heck of a drummer, right? Even when he was 5 and 6, he could drum real well. I've seen organ players who never knew how to read any note, just slay it. Piano players never knew how to read music, just destroy it. And a lot of great artists like Susan Tedeschi, like some of the soul and R&B acts, most of them came out of churches. So I can relate to Buddy's upbringing and the power of the church and how it introduces people to music. Yeah, so for DMB Mamas, just message me. Pilgrimage to the Gorge is the Facebook group that has helped me out. One of the things they helped me out with was figuring out how to be careful driving. Now you can look up, they'll talk about hotels, all that stuff. But one of the things I had to, it's been a long day, but for good reasons. I had a wonderful day, but tired here. But one of the things they told me about being careful with the driving in Washington State versus up here in New England, where in New England, the cops won't pull you over if you're going 80 on a 65 in the left lane. They won't, because that's the reality of how things are up in this corridor, right? They want traffic to move. They want things to keep moving as long as it's safe to do so. But the pilgrimage to the gorge helped me to find some tips on driving in Washington State. Let me see if I can and also if you go on antsmarching.org, there's some resources. Let me share this here real quick. So this is they have topics. So you have camping, tickets, RV, things to do, packing, supplies, gold restrictions, food, all of that here. And just message me, DMB Mamas, if you need to add to this. There's different rooms, announcements, discussion about. This is a great Facebook page, Pilgrimage to the Gorge. Now, I can invite you if you are on Facebook. If not, just look it up. But that is an awesome resource for the Gorge. And like I said, it helped me in certain things. I was observing other things about things, but I would get a hotel. Just get what you can. To kind of go on a brief, show you guys. But to me, and I've only been once, so listen, you can take this with a grain of salt. But to me, the two best places, Moses Lake, Washington. Now, this is a 40-minute drive, but this is 40 minutes and there's not going to be traffic. That's what I love about the Gorge. There's no traffic. There's only traffic a little bit when you get in, but most people are camping. So you can go to Moses Lake, or you can go to Ellensburg, are the two major, to me. Let's see if we can Ellensburg, Washington. and it's 44 minutes that way. So those are the two. Those are the two major. Now up here, you have this town called Wenatchee. I probably pronounced. And actually, when I was in a previous job, someone was telling me about this town, and when I was talking to a customer in my line of business that I was working, and they told me to come up to visit this town. Now, this town is smaller, and the lodging is a lot limited than Moses Lake. And also, you have to, you do have this Fairfield. So, I mean, you can get stuff, but the trip itself is a little more. You don't get highway per se. You get these little routes. But like let's say, if you look through, but Labor Day is, leave Monday. So yeah, they don't even have anything. That's you can try to see 244. I mean, that's a good listen for the gorge. 244. I mean, that's what you're gonna have to pay. That's the reality. If you're not camping and let's see, Red Lion 166 3 through 6, because that's the gorge, right? That's the gorge weekend, right? To make sure I'm not crazy. It gets confusing because some years it's in August, and some years it's not. What is it? The gorge. Yeah, 9-3 to 9-5. So I mean, you can get this. Now again, this town is a little ways out. If you but 166 again, anything under 300. But you can find deals. You can still find stuff for 150. And again, this is also further out. The other thing is too, depending on when your flight is, Route 2 at night is very dangerous. To take Route 2 back up to the airport. Now, if you do it in the morning, that's fine. Let's see. The problem is, if you guys, the problem is I'm on a big screen TV, so I can't. It's weird when my second screen is a big screen. Let me just show you guys what I'm working with. So it's like I'm looking at a screen, but it doesn't always, the resolution's not. So that's my second screen there. It's a 42 or 49 inch TV. I'm trying to look at it, but it doesn't fit the scale all the time. Anyway, yeah, so we can even look at that another time. People who are looking to try to get hotels. But look, the gorge. What is it? Yeah, so it's an hour drive, and the reason it's an hour drive is because you have to go across the river and down, and it's more. I mean, you can pick up some good speed in some of the back roads, but still, you have to go. And it says this road has restricted usage of private roads. So, but to me, I'm sorry, I can't camp. I can't camp at for 3 days. I'll do camping like locally, but for a music festival, you're out there all day, or not a festival, or concert. You're gonna have openers for this. I need my shower. I'm sorry, I need my personal shower. You can call me bougie if you want, but I got it. Like concerts get you so sweaty and icky, and you're around all these people, and I love being around the people, but I feel like I need to take a full shower. I need to have my own bed. I know camping is fun. Don't get me wrong. I know it's fun, but I need that hotel room. I love the outdoors. I hike, I run, I do different things, and I can stay overnight, but it's a little different when you're when you're not around so many people, and you stayed a night or two, and the campground is smaller than some of the campgrounds. But yep, so that's what we have. All right, so like I said, I look forward to next week streaming again. We'll see what happens in the world of DMB. What is new? Potentially, what do we get? Some more album stuff? Do we get guidelines for some of these shows? Especially State of Washington. State of Washington is, since New York, like I said, I was in New York, and my experience in New York, I was in a fully maskless section. That's a huge step. Now everyone had a vaccine, but that's kind of where they're at now. But by the summertime, it's gonna, to me, I think it's gonna be anyone, vaccine or not. You'll be able to get in to these shows. They're not gonna. To me, they can't refuse anyone. They've already sold tickets here, so. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. But Washington State is going to be the most. So I think there's a California show on here, but in California is like still a lot. You still have to wear a mask in California till October. Listen, I know people on different ends of the spectrum. That's excessive to me. I think you should have the option to wear a mask, but being forced to wear a mask, if like at this point. So yeah, there's what is there? Is there 4 points? Yeah, Irvine, or 5 point. But California is going to allow these full crowds. They're already doing it with sports. Sports is opening up. But let me just see. Yeah, to show you this Irvine. But the number one concern here, I still think we'll be fine. But Washington State is the ones with the gorge that I really hope. So yeah, this is 5 Point Amphitheater in Irvine. Those two shows are the ones that I'm concerned of. Like, oh no, these are the ones that are in California where there's at work, there's mask restrictions, but restrictions, which are again a little too excessive to mandate it when you have people that now have the option to get the vaccine. If you want it, if you don't, that's fine. That's your choice, right? So I think California is just being a little too excessive, but the business side of California is not going to be the same way. This is workplace, right? And even so, they're not going to arrest people, right? Yeah. Thank you guys for coming in and checking in this Saturday night stream. I will see you guys next Saturday. It's your boy ConcertViz 34. Peace.